Well, hey everybody, welcome back to another video here on the Washington Football Maniacs YouTube channel. My name is Greg Sykes, and if you're new here, thank you for joining us. We try to put out videos as much as possible. And with that said, let's get into today's video. So, doing something a little bit different. We covered the draft as much as we possibly could. We've been releasing videos about the sale, and I know that people are getting sick and tired of talking about the sale, so I just want to put out something a little bit different today. As we talk about the team, the franchise, and we reminisce a little bit about past players that we kind of wish that we could have back. And maybe, we're all, as Washington fans, we're never going to agree on certain players that we would like to have back. Some, yes, probably more than others. But when we look at certain players that if we could choose that are still, of course, active in the NFL, that's the caveat to this video. If there's any player that is active right now in the NFL that you would want to take back that was on this Washington football squad and was a good player, who would that be? Now, I could already think of two players right now, and I'll probably do a video on the other player that I'm thinking of. And I bet that in the comment section, you guys will probably already name the other player that I'll probably do a video on in the next one. But this one, honestly, we bagged on this guy. But I would have to say that I would probably... And this is going to be an all depends thing, right? But I would probably take a long, hard look at bringing back Kirk Cousins if, and this is a big if things didn't work out with Sam Howell. Now, why do I say that? Well, because, look, Kirk Cousins has turned out to be a fantastic quarterback in the league. There's no doubt in that. When he played for the Washington Redskins, he was, yes, we could all say, well, he was a stat patter. He garbage time touchdowns and and all this stuff. But there were times where you could watch Kirk play, and I got that feeling that I had not felt in a long time watching a quarterback for the Washington Redskins play. I could think of certainly in Robert Griffin III's first year, that electrifying excitement of what is he going to do, because he could turn this game around at any point. And that's the way that Kirk Cousins, once things started clicking in that 2015 season, then you knew that Kirk Cousins was a baller. And of course, his downfall was that he couldn't win in prime time. And he would make I remember what was it, the Monday night game? I believe it was the Monday night game, where who was it against now? Where instead of clocking the ball, he took a knee, and it essentially ran out the time, and it was just a boneheaded move on Kirk Cousins' part. But yeah, other than that, you can't deny Kirk Cousins is a fantastic quarterback. But certainly when he went to the Vikings, everybody thought he was the final piece to the puzzle for that Vikings squad, because they went to the NFC Championship game with Casey Keenum, and of course they lost that game. But bringing in a Kirk Cousins, you felt that was the last piece of the puzzle for the Vikings, and then they would be Super Bowl bound. And then of course it seemed like suddenly they didn't make the playoffs. Suddenly they were an ordinary team, and of course that all gets blamed on the quarterback and the coach. Coach gets kicked to the curb. And then, the Vikings start getting back into the playoffs. Cousins plays well. And But I think the Vikings are starting to feel like that they have reached their ceiling with Kirk Cousins. And and you may want to ask, well, Greg, if the Vikings have come to that decision, then why would you want him back? Well, because that I think that we are building a type of team. And again, I know I'm going on a lot of assumptions. I'm assuming that new ownership would give grace to Ron Rivera and would want to keep him around for another year or whatever. But um, I think that we are building more of a team centric ball club where, kind of like in the days of Joe Gibbs, it wasn't necessarily centered around excuse me, the quarterback as much as the whole team. The whole team came together as a championship team. And that's the reason why Joe Gibbs won 3 Super Bowls with 3 different quarterbacks. Because he didn't have a franchise quarterback. You could argue maybe Joe Theismann was the closest to a franchise quarterback that Joe Gibbs had in his first tenure as head coach of the Washington Redskins, but he never really had a franchise quarterback. And I think in some ways, with Ron Rivera being old school, you could kind of see where, yes, he needs a quarterback. And he said before, quarterback, that's important. But does it have to be a Tom Brady? It has to be a solid, good quarterback. And Kirk Cousins is that solid, good quarterback. I would love to have Kirk Cousins back. Honestly, I didn't want Kirk Cousins to leave the first time, but I realized he didn't want to stay in Washington. But things have changed in Washington now. It's going to be new ownership. All of that front office staff is gone. I mean, heck, the name is gone. It's a different team. It's a different atmosphere, different environment. I could see a situation where Cousins would want to go back to Washington, especially if Ron Rivera feels like he has built a team that the only thing that they lack is that piece to the puzzle. And Cousins probably would want to go to a team where he feels like he could be that final piece. And knowing that there's probably still a lot of the fan base that would take Kirk Cousins back, myself included. I would love to take Kirk Cousins back. So that would be one of the players that I would, if I had to choose any of the players right now that is active in the NFL, that's playing at a high level, it would be Kirk Cousins for me. Let me know in the comments below. I'll probably put out another video like this, so don't worry if I didn't choose the player that you thought I should have chosen. Chances are he's probably going to be in the next video. All right, folks, share this video, like it. Don't forget to subscribe to the Washington Football Maniacs. I'll be putting out hopefully some good content down the road. That said, I'll see you in the next one.
Hey, you stayed until the very end. Thank you so much. Watch another one right now.